Right then, welcome back to episode 2 of Trials Talk Vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call it. In this episode, before I go any further, actually, I should say we have very kindly been sponsored for this episode and possibly a few more by sjtrials.com. Local fella to me here in Northern Ireland, Sam McCallion, started up the business a few years ago and it has taken off. So well done, Sam. He is the official Scorpa dealer for Northern Ireland. And he also carries a load of other stock as well, all the usual trials accessories that you can think of. S3, Apico, Jitsi, Galfer, Renthal, Hebo, Sil lubricants, Comas clothing, Hebo clothing, all that stuff. So thank you very much. Get yourselves along to sjtrials.com and you can order everything there on the website and it'll be delivered to your door forthwith. So thank you very much, Sam. So a few things have happened since the last episode. Most notably, Miquel Gelabert decided to retire and then has decided to go extreme enduro riding. We're not really quite sure what happened there. Hugo or myself can't really fathom that one out. What do you reckon? I don't know, Hugo. What do you think?
I can't really work it out myself, apart from some sort of loosely translated Spanish using Google. But it's just sounded to me like he wanted a bit of time just to go and work on himself a bit, really. But lo and behold, day or two later, we've got another trials rider joining the enduro scene.
Valid point there too. That's quite a few notable names now have sort of jumped ship. No doubt because of more money. And I see today there's been an announcement of a European. I don't know if it's an extreme or a hard enduro championship there. So I think there's 5 or 6 rounds for a European championship. So no doubt that's probably what they've been sort of eyeing up or looking towards. Maybe that's even what Dan Peace is thinking of too. But you never know. We can ask. We have a special guest tonight, our first guest. We have Jack Peace coming along later to join us. So maybe that's a question for him. That'll be interesting to see.
That's going to be good for the sport, whatever. Another championship in it, but I don't know if everybody realizes enduro is not as easy as it sort of some of the stars make it look like. If you're watching Billy Bolt, it looked pretty easy, but I did a tiny bit last year. I did the tough one just for a bit of fun.
Yeah,
and it's really not as easy as it looks, I must say.
No. And if his sort of extreme event experience is anything to go by, he rode the Scott Trial in 2017 and barely made it to halfway. So it's not a great start, is it?
maybe not, but I don't know. I don't think there's many things that are as tough as the Scott.
No. I've a few things that I would like to do in my trials career, and one of them is a first class award in Scotland, which I haven't managed yet, and the other one is a finisher's award in the Scott, which I haven't managed yet either. So I'm getting older and it's getting harder, I can tell you.
How many times have you tried in the Scott?
To be fair, now I've tried 3 times. And I got the best was my first time. I got to the 5th petrol check, and then they stopped me because I wasn't going to get any further. So that's
hard to swallow, I'd imagine.
Yeah. It's not ideal. But anyway, that's Miquel Gelabert. I don't know. I mean, the press release sounded like he had some sort of serious mental health issues that he was going to go and get sorted out, and he checked himself into rehab and all sorts of carry on. So, but then less than 10 days later, he's riding a beta for the Spanish importer in extreme enduro. So
enduro rehab.
Maybe that was the rehab.
New practice.
Yeah, maybe maybe that is the new rehab. Everybody's going to it. So then moving on, then Matteo Grattarola I said in the previous episode that I'd heard a rumor that he might be going to Vertigo. And
And
I
I
think,
had heard a similar rumor.
yeah, I think that's pretty much been confirmed. Um, I did hastily Photoshop a picture. You'll see on our social media pages. You'll see
Did like that.
pretty crap Photoshop job, to be fair. But
But yeah, they've sort of as much as confirmed it without confirming it in a way from that little video, didn't they?
yeah,
I suppose
yeah.
it was meant to be a teaser, but I don't think it left much teasing.
No, it didn't really leave any thinking, really, did it? It was one of the
No.
sponsors on his sleeve that he always hashtags in all his social
All
media
right.
posts. So I was like, oh yeah, that's got to be. When I first saw it, I saw the boots, and everybody kind of went, "Oh, the boots! It's got to be
Yeah.
Grattarola." But I was thinking, well, no, no, Toby wears those boots as well. It could be, but
I've not seen. I've not seen Toby wearing them.
does he not wear those? Were they not Forma boots, or is that not? Or am I
No, they're
missing?
Gratta used to wear formers, which yeah, Toby does wear, but they're some like new Italian brand
Oh, so I've
that
totally missed
I
that
think
then.
I think Steve Saunders is actually importing them from now on.
Right.
If anyone fancies them, but yeah, I've never seen them about to be honest.
Right. Okay. Well, I missed that completely then because I
Hmm.
thought they were Forma boots. So that one did throw me. But
That's what gave it away to me.
um, yeah. So I think I mean that like we said. I mean he's got to be when you're looking for a rider, he had to be top of everybody's list. So
Yeah, of the available, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and that's probably a good move for him at that stage of his career. I would say I would imagine a hefty pay rise there.
Yeah, I suppose it might have been negotiation time a bit between Beta after having a good year and stuff, and obviously Vertigo in need of a rider might have paid a bit more to get him from there, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So I think he's probably
I don't
quite.
can't imagine Beta would have wanted to let him go very easy because of like the Italian rider,
Yeah, the
Italian
Italian
bike
thing.
sort of yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but I still think I think it'll be interesting to see. I think because well, I don't know. I mean, you ride a beta, you'd be better placed than most. But I think the Vertigo's got to be a better bike at that level.
yeah,
Although he won a world round, okay, it was in Italy, but he did win a world round on the beta, I suppose. But
yeah, less said about that the better maybe. But yeah, the thing is, it all comes down to personal preference, probably, doesn't it? Like every bike you can get as good enough to win now, isn't it? And what factories can do with bikes is pretty impressive from what you can
yeah,
buy as well. So
yeah.
yeah, I can't say anything bad about the Beta to be honest. I really got on with it, but the Vertigo does look to so and sound a pretty tasty machine.
Do you think the sound? The noise is one thing I cannot stand. They sound like
But
they just run so lean.
yeah, I'm not. It's they sound if you particularly like the Buster replicas I've seen a few about. They sound like powerful when they're revving and pulling, but yeah, they never from sort of my experience. I'm not saying they don't, but they do seem to sort of run a bit sound fluffy, don't they, on the bob and a bit like
Yeah,
pinky almost.
yeah, yeah. You'd imagine it's going to pink when you open the throttle,
Mm.
and then the fan
Then it's
starts,
just
and that's just forget it. I cut. That's it. Put that bike away. I cannot have that at all. It's ridiculous.
you have to get them microphones back that everyone like the intercoms everyone used to have.
Yeah. Uh, and a bit of a shock one, I think. Although maybe not when gas are paying out probably more money um for Busto was
Mm.
Bincaz moving to Sherco.
Yeah, I was I wasn't really expecting that to be. I hadn't
No, I
heard anything
thought
or seen anything, so
I thought he was probably happy enough where he was, and probably the French importer was maybe paying part of his
mm.
contract there as well. I don't know, but
I know
um,
he was on Sherco sort of beginning of the career, wasn't he as well? So it
yeah,
might be sort of a nice bit of familiarity for him.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was recently Scorpa as
I
well, so
suppose, yeah, he was as well, wasn't
I
he?
mean,
Yeah,
and they're not. Well, they are
they
actually
are the
quite
same,
different to
aren't they?
ride, which is the strange thing.
Do you
They do.
think I've never actually ridden them, but
No, it's weirdly they are different to ride. I don't know what they've done or
hmm,
how they do that or why they do that, but
I'm pretty interested to see what the new ones are like, actually. The fuel
Yeah,
injected ones.
it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah.
I don't
In the
know.
vid, they sound pretty nice in the video, sound pretty sweet, but
Yeah,
don't know how they'll fare in the British conditions.
yeah. We actually had a Boxing Day trial there, and there was a guy out on a new gasser.
Ah,
Yeah, and yeah, looked and sounded very nice indeed.
yeah. They
So
also I've only seen Jack dance with one, but
yeah,
yeah, quite good to see one in the wild.
yeah. No, it looked well, looked nice.
Yeah,
I quite like the fact that they're minimal on the graphics.
yeah,
I think that
yeah. A lot of people seem to have sort of disliked that, but I like it. I think it looks pretty sort of like you say minimal. It's quite sleek looking and stuff, I
yeah,
think.
and it's sort of it's almost still a bit sort of prototype looking. It's kind of
Yeah, a bit factory. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, something a bit factory about it.
Mm,
So again, that leaves Beta without a rider.
mm.
I don't really know who, unless they're maybe just going to stick with any old Jalabert and hope that he
Yeah,
continues in his
he
progress
is.
like he did last year.
He did have a pretty good first year, didn't he? So
Yeah.
maybe they are sort of just promoting him up to their number one, but it also yeah, keeps brings the question to mind of where Toby's going still, doesn't it? He's keeping everybody.
I
He's
see
dragging out this big reveal.
he's
So
going to make it. I'm guessing he's posted something there. I think I saw a photo on Instagram. 5th of
with a
the
bit of a
first
logo.
23. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing he's gonna make the announcement then. But
Mm,
I don't know. I'm still thinking Honda.
yeah. That'd be when.
I think that's where the smart money is, but you
Judging by
never
the colours
know.
on the logo, it's not Sherco anyway.
No, no, definitely not. Um, yeah, it's not the red and black.
Could
Yeah.
actually still be Tanachi Wong, red and black.
Well, I mean, they've got to make the step into the big time somewhere.
Mm,
I thought Dan Clark was going to do it, but maybe not. He settled for over 40 European champion. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, that's quite. I might actually try a couple of those rounds if there's any close next year. They look good. That's a
Yeah.
section I think I could ride those actually. Um, yeah. So who else? That's really it, isn't it? Everybody else
Mm.
is sort of. Toby's the last
I was
one in the
a
top
sort of a
class,
thought
really.
crossed my
To
mind about thought crossed my mind about what like a gas they've only got bust it's a big name, but they've only got one name in that top class now, haven't they?
yeah,
And then he's really two names in their team altogether with Sondre as well.
yeah,
So I just just wondered whether they're just putting all their money into Busto or are they going to have a second rider as well, possibly.
yeah. Because I see also what do you call that Italian Tournoir Gianluca Tournoir. He has moved from
Oh
Gas
yeah,
to
yeah,
Sherco. He's on
and
one of the new Shercos as well now. So
uh, he's been at Gas for years.
mhm. That surprised me because I thought,
Hmm.
well, Italian in the Italian Championship, he's probably the next best thing
Yeah,
really
there
for
or thereabouts. Yeah.
yeah. He's a good goer on the national scene. Um,
Hmm.
no, I can't think. I don't know. I'm guessing. Like I say, I think it must be um, Beta are just going to stick with Aniol and hope he continues his upward
Hmm.
trajectory. I mean, I was shocked actually at how well he did.
Yeah, I was as well actually. How
Um,
like I thought it might be like consistency that would let him down, but he seemed to really pull his
yeah,
finger out last year.
he did. He did. Fair play. So the next big thing on the horizon then is the DL12 Indoor this weekend. Are you going?
I'm not actually, no.
No, neither am I. I probably
No.
should have. I
I don't
probably should have been going to that.
that's exactly when it came around, I was just like, don't know why I didn't sort of buy a ticket really, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Well,
not going.
I thought about it, and you see, the problem is coming from here. It's a flight, and
Yeah,
there's no flights to Sheffield, so you fly to either Manchester, Liverpool, or Leeds, and then you have to hire a car. And by the time you do
yeah,
that, you might as well go to one of the European indoors.
Yeah.
because it's going to cost you the same amount, probably maybe even cheaper. Who knows? So yeah, unfortunately not going, but we can. So the riders are Tony Bow, Adam Raga, Jaime Busto, Gabriel Marcelli, Toby Martin, Sondra Haga, Jack Peace, who we can have a little chat with later, and Harry Hemingway.
Mm.
So what's your? I mean, it's hard to look past Tony, really, isn't it?
I don't think you can look past him, can you really?
Um, couple of
You can't see past him. He's
no. I'm sort of. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know, but obviously being the DL12, obviously Dougie has had a massive input into the organisation of it, taking over from his father and Martin Cross
yeah.
that used to run them back in the day.
Mm.
I'm guessing they were really planning on Busto being on a Vertigo.
Oh yeah, I would have thought so probably from Doug organising stuff, but
That's
yeah.
probably put a slight spanner in their works there, maybe.
Mm. Yeah, they
Um,
might have asked Grattarola to come if they'd have known earlier, maybe.
yeah, well, yeah, he might be a last minute replacement for somebody. Um, but so okay, so
Mm.
we're saying it's probably going to be Tony. That's probably fair enough.
Yeah.
So who do we reckon then is going to be of the remainder? I think it's fairly. I think it's fairly open. It depends. Has
Yeah.
Busto's going to be on a new bike, possibly unfamiliar still. Who knows? Um,
Mm.
Marcelli can be brilliant, but equally not.
Yeah, on his night he could push it to Bow, couldn't he? But
Oh
then
yeah,
yeah, he
absolutely.
seems to
Yeah,
just have these off days. I
yeah,
think Busto's in the same boat. He's pretty magical when it's going well, but then
yes,
sometimes it's just like his head's not in it and he goes to sleep.
yeah.
And then obviously Raga being Raga, you can never really carry him out of the fight, can you?
No, but
The
I don't
years seem to
know.
go by and he never seems to get much worse, but
No, he doesn't.
same
Although
as Bow.
I think last season, although there was other, I mean, there was other things going on. Obviously, he was becoming a father and everything else. But
Mm,
um, I think there was a slight drop in his form. I think his consistency started to sort of drop off a little bit.
maybe. I actually thought about this after we did the first one. We were talking about sort of positions and where everyone lay in the championship and stuff. And I remember seeing that Raga's position was well hampered quite a bit by whatever went on in Germany at that round
Yeah,
where he got disqualified that day and all that sort
yeah,
of jazz. I think he would have can't remember where he would have finished. I just remember seeing a set. He might have still been second or third without that. He's definitely higher than he finished anyway.
yeah, yeah. You sort of
So
forget, don't you? He was disqualified from the round.
yeah, well, when we were talking about it, I completely forgot, and then I thought it's probably worth mentioning that he
Yeah,
probably looked worse on paper than the year he actually
yeah.
had,
Fair
maybe.
point.
But
Actually, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
so
mean,
it'd be interesting to see.
you can't I mean you can't rule him out. The guy
No,
still can ride a bike, like there's no doubt.
hmm. I
So
think
of the younger guys, then,
this
uh,
is where it gets interesting for me.
isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
I think the last place on the podium is going to be well contended
yeah.
for.
I think I've been to Sheffield the last couple of years. Again, don't know why I'm not going this year, but that's always almost the most exciting thing to see for me. Like when you see the likes of Toby, Harry, Jack Peace riding there, and they're sort of lads the up and coming lads. That's where the excitement is, trying to will them on and see them
Yeah,
push it to the Spanish contingency.
yeah,
That's yeah, be exciting to see who comes out on top out of the home crowd.
yeah. And I think it's fair to say they all raised their game.
Yeah,
I mean, it must be incredible to be standing on a bike in the middle of the arena with whatever, however many was it,
yeah,
20,000 people or whatever. I don't know what size the arena is. Shouting for you must be an
must be a
unbelievable experience.
hell of a feeling. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'd love to be of that sort of level to have given that a go,
yeah.
but
It'd be nice to know
must be
exactly,
great.
just firsthand what it's like.
Yeah,
Um,
doing the wheelie around the stadium would be the thing that when you come out to that like in walkout music type thing and the spotlight's on you doing
Yeah,
that wheelie around the stadium,
yeah.
you'd just be like in your mind, don't loop it, don't loop it, don't loop it.
Oh, I was at the Barcelona Indoor
Yeah,
last season. It was November. I think it was the end of the 21 season. It wasn't the 22 season.
yeah,
Um, and it was the first time they'd had the ladies there. And
right.
Naomi Monye came out and they tried to do a roll in stoppie and went right out the front
Oh, I
door.
remember seeing that. The front slid out, you know,
I
on the
think I don't know
whatever material they had down, straight
if
out
I
the front
have
door.
that, I might still have that on my phone. I was videoing it at the time.
Oh,
If I have that on my
poor
phone,
girl.
I'll stick it into I'll stick it in somewhere up there, down there, wherever. Um, if I still have it, it was cringeworthy. Yeah, you just felt so bad for
Yeah,
her. And
the
nobody,
type
she went
the
right
type
over,
of
and the
thing
bike
anyone
was on
could do
top of
though.
her, and
Yeah,
nobody came to. It was actually Grattarola came running from behind the curtain.
was it?
Yeah, to lift the bike off her. It was
Oh,
it was a bit of a cringeworthy one, that, but
mortifying.
yeah,
We'll have to
mortifying.
apologise to her if we had it in. I'm sure she's seen it enough by now.
Yeah. Oh, it's just one of those ones you just want to
You,
crawl under the nearest section.
you just got to get up and take a bow then, don't you?
Yeah, you gotta style it out somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Um, so Harry
Mm.
Hemingway, what do we reckon there? I think it'll be. I think he'll just leave his brain in the toolbox, and I think it'll be um, podium or A&E possibly.
I think it's he's not scared to throw himself at stuff, is he,
No,
Harry? So it'd be
no,
good. He'll be giving it a good go, I'm sure.
yeah, and it could go that'll go either way. It'll either go really well or
Yeah,
it'll just not work.
I
Um,
remember it being like that. I think it was either the first or second time Toby was there. He sort of chucking himself at stuff, and it paid off on like the first section sort of thing. Then the crowd started building, going wild, and cheering him on, and he just like you can see the confidence grow in people,
yeah,
and they just start like you're almost like turning away from it slightly as you're not sure what's going to happen next to you. Like you
yeah,
say, it'll be hero or bust a bit, isn't it?
could go
Be good
either
to see
way.
though.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant.
Local lad to Sheffield as well, pretty much, isn't he?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's good
sure
to
he'll have
see.
plenty of support.
It's brilliant to see. You know,
Yeah.
another young British rider that's gonna
Mm.
hopefully take it to the Spaniards.
Yeah.
Um,
Looks like he's been getting some good practice in as well on them.
yeah, I mean, what has Dan? Has Dan just built an indoor
Similar
arena there for
variety of
him?
rocks and skips for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks pretty mega though.
yeah. Everybody needs to be there. He
Maybe
should
we'll have to
charge. He
try
should
and get up.
charge in.
Mm.
That would
I'll have
help
to
with the sponsorship.
try
There's
and
one
get up
for you,
there
Dan. You can
for a
thank me
ride with
later
him.
if you're watching. um, yeah.
No,
So on
that'd
the
be good.
younger rider thing, I see you posted on social media there today. Are you doing a youth training thing? Is it
Yeah, I've
weekend
sort
or next weekend?
next weekend on the Saturday. Yeah, I've been doing. There's been like a Welsh. It began as like a Project 2000. It was called in the year 2000 as like a bit of a Welsh youth trials academy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just trying to like bring on the youth trial scene across Wales and try and sort of bring them up to the British Championship standard for DCBA class they're in, just to try and sort of keep the sport alive, keep them progressing, and hopefully represent Wales at a few of the British rounds, really.
Yeah.
So I've sort of taken on, I've done my coaching license and stuff, and I've taken on organising that and I've been trying to sort of move the sessions around Wales a lot more just to give everyone a chance and
Yes.
sort of broaden the horizons a bit, really.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's absolutely so needed. I mean, there's a guy here has started a sort of. It's not at that level yet, but hopefully it will
Mm.
get to that level. He just calls it like a rock hopper type thing,
Yeah,
and it's just getting kids out on their bike to have a bit of fun
yeah.
initially, and then if it progresses from that, then there's we're gonna try and put some sort of stepping stone system in place.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm trying to work through. the coaching program thing at the minute. It's like an
Right.
online thing. There's different modules to do and stuff. So
Yeah.
there's a few of us are trying to do it. I think Stuart Hanlon, Josh Hanlon maybe are involved as
Oh,
well.
nice.
So yeah, so we're trying to put some sort of similar, sounds like a fairly
Yeah.
similar system in place. So
Hmm.
um
That's what I try and do. It sort of getting the group. We usually do it for about 10, and just getting the group of them together, get to know each other, and sort of start having a laugh on their bikes
yeah,
is the main thing really at that age, isn't it? And then
yeah, well that's
they
it.
push each other on.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Well, once one tries something, then they all feel like they need to try it, and then it kind of they all push each other on. Bit of peer pressure. Nothing
Yeah,
ever
can't beat it.
nothing ever wrong with that. Nothing ever wrong with that. Right. I think we'll take a little bit of a break there. I'm going to get a cup of tea, and we will be back in a little minute with our first guest, Jack Peace. See you in a minute.
Looking forward to it. See you in a minute.
By Jack Peace. Top.
Round of applause.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, brilliant. Round of applause. Top British Championship runner, Trial 2 World Championship runner, and an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. So my Wi-Fi has actually started going slow now, so that's going to be brilliant. So Jack, I think probably best to start. We'll start with last season. Um, how did you think? I mean, for me, you were probably going into Trial 2 as one of the favourites in the
Yeah,
championship. And did that? Do you think that had an effect on the way you rode, or did the season go as you would have planned? Or
yeah. So the season didn't really go as planned. The British Championship sort of went well from the start, and then I was hoping to carry on that momentum into the Worlds, but it just didn't quite happen really. Sort of for one reason or another. In places I could have ridden better, and in other places it was like a bit of bad luck. Sometimes it just
Yeah.
one going my way, and sort of one of them things. But yeah, obviously I'd hoped to win it after coming so close the year before. That was definitely the aim, but just didn't quite happen. And I'll be aiming to win it this year.
Yeah, that's the way.
yeah, and hopefully so. So I mean, I think from a rider's point of view, it's very difficult sometimes to gauge where you are in terms of your level against everybody else's. Do you think that the level in Trial 2 had increased, or was it just like you say? Was it just maybe a bit of bad luck here and there, which really affected it?
Yeah, I think the level the year before was just as high, like with Toby and Anyo, both riding who moved up to the top class. It's just at that level, there's a lot of good riders, and it's like fine margins. You only need one little thing to maybe not go your way, or one slight mistake, and then when it's close, especially if it's a little bit easier trial, you can soon be down the order. So yeah, the level's very good, and it's. But I think the level the year before was good too.
It is such a competitive class, and it's getting more competitive than anything. But even
Yeah,
when like the year or two that I did a few, you don't have to do hardly anything wrong, and you just like five places go by like nothing, don't they?
yeah, that's
Obviously, of a
it. Yeah,
slightly different area of the results to where you were, Jack, but it's still like the same. Didn't take
like
many marks for it to like completely slip away.
yeah, 5 marks can be like 3 or 4 places, can't it? And
Yeah,
it might not be not the fact you can't do something. It might just be clipping a flag or
yeah,
snapping a paper. It's
yeah.
yeah, it's just
And
got to go right.
do you find it sort of once be interesting to see what your thoughts are, but like when them things sort of start going against you, it seems like it's hard to like turn the tide on that and turn the tables, doesn't it? To sort of get your mojo back and stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I think times like when it's going your way, everything seems a lot easier, doesn't it? When you ride. It seems sometimes when one thing goes against you, another can. But I know what you're saying there.
Yeah, it seems like you're sometimes bit of time in the off season will sort of set you back on track, hopefully, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and obviously take positives from the British Championship, which went really well. Obviously, I didn't end up winning it in the end, but Toby's a very good rider, and it couldn't have been much closer. So,
couldn't have been any closer, could it?
Yeah,
no,
that's down to the last trial and last lap.
But
yeah, it is a bit of an odd season really, because I was pleased with how I rode in the British rounds and got a lot of good results. And the World Championship, obviously disappointed with. But yeah, it's one of them things, and I know this year we'll go a lot better in the Worlds.
Yeah, sure you will, mate. Yeah, it's not like you say. It's not necessarily that you've been ridden bad. Is it just a few bits of bad luck? It doesn't mean that you're off the pace at all, does it? Not from what I've seen, anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
No, exactly. That's why I asked the question, because it doesn't seem to me like you've been riding badly. That certainly hasn't been the case. It's just, as you say, a little bit of luck here and there, and it 5 marks is 5 places.
Yeah, definitely come together.
It was like, I suppose another bit of bad luck for you was drawing an early start on Friday in Scotland.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, Scotland, anything can happen, can't it? And it was obviously the week was going really well, and I got a good result still. But up until the Friday, I was leading. We got to the first group on the Friday morning. You couldn't see a thing, like the water deep, and we thought, oh no. But that was just bad luck, innit? The weather can do anything up there, and you just gotta hope it goes in your favour. But
yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. That's the luck of the draw, and it wasn't going in your way that time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that this year. It's a trial. We've ridden it.
I suppose probably going sort of maybe back to the first question. I find it. I mean, riding at the level that I ride at, basically just to get round Scotland is my main aim. But how do you keep the concentration going from one day to the next when there are so many things that can change? It must be, surely, I mean, it can't be an enjoyable week, is it?
Well, there's definitely parts you enjoy, but like you say, one of the hardest things is trying to keep your concentration all week. It's a long week to concentrate when there's that many sections, and obviously so many things to look out for. I mean, you can clean all the sections, but it only takes you to get the tiniest bit offline, and you can easily have some marks. It's difficult, and I think Dougie's shown like he's brilliant at sort of concentrating for that long. I guess it's one of them things you'd probably get better with practice, but it's definitely not easy to concentrate for that amount of time.
Doesn't seem to be going that way for me, to be fair. I'm doing all the practicing, but I'm not getting any better. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what way. I'm obviously doing something wrong.
Are you riding it this year? Have you just done it in previous years?
Yeah, no, I've another. I got my entry confirmed, so yeah, we'll I don't know. I think this will maybe be my last, but we'll give it one last shot. Just a first class award would be great.
Yeah, that'd be.
But I mean, that's the great thing about Scotland, because I mean, I can go there and I can have my fun at my level. Hugo goes and he has his fun at his level, and then and we're all riding the same thing. It's just such a unique event.
Yeah, it is really
cool. I've never thought of that. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, sort of one of the traditional events that's still going.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that they put the effort into keeping it running. So moving on to this season, obviously you've got the DL12. We'll go on to that in a wee minute. But your plan, obviously, I'm assuming you're staying with Sherco and planning to do full British and World Championship Trial 2 again.
Yeah, my plans I'm with Sherco for this year and doing Trial 2 World Championship again and the British Championship. And then I would say, hopefully, after, if I have a good year in the Worlds, I'm going to move up to TrialGP the following year. But yeah, my plan for this year is same again as last year.
And I've noticed on your all your social media posts, there's a string of hashtags at the bottom for all the people who help you out.
Yeah.
Now, I have a bit of an insight into this, but maybe some of the people that are watching this maybe don't understand maybe just how much work you have to put in behind the scenes to get all that in place to enable you to do the season in full.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of expense to compete in like the full World Championship and the British Championship. But
do you have an idea roughly how much? I mean, you don't have to give us an exact figure, but a ballpark figure for what your costs are.
Well, I guess it'd be hard to put a figure on it, but it's a lot, with the expenses and entry fees and stuff like that. And it definitely takes like a lot of generosity from personal sponsors to help get you there. And obviously a brand like Sherco is very lucky to be able to do what we do with their and personal sponsors, and obviously help from my parents as well to get to that point.
And does Sherco, are they giving you a good bit of support? Are they or?
Yeah, Sherco are really good with me. Yeah, they're very supportive.
Very good. That's good.
What do you think about your new teammate as well, Jack?
Yeah, Benoit. Yeah, that's a new. Yeah, it should be good. I think the new bike race. We'll see how he gets on, but it'd be good to have him on the team as well.
Are you going to be riding the new bike this weekend? Have you ridden it at all yet?
No, my new bike came just more or less the day that I was coming home from Spain, so I wouldn't have been able to, get on it and in time for Sheffield. So I'm riding my World Championship bike from this year at Sheffield, and then as soon as I go out to Spain later in January, I'm going to get on the new one and get training on that, ready for the start of the British rounds in March.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to be on an unfamiliar bike on them Sheffield sections, would you?
That's it. Yeah, very, very different. Like it's sort of a completely new bike. So I can't wait.
Yeah, but you are excited to get on that.
Yeah.
They do look nice. I have to say they do look well.
Yeah.
So moving on to the DL12 Indoor. Then you are being supported, I believe, by our episode sponsor SJ Trials. I'll just get that little plug in there again, sjtrials.com for all your trials needs. What are you hoping for? What realistically, what do you think, or where do you think you'll be?
Well, it's obviously such a different event. I've not got much experience at them indoor trials, so but I'd love to get into the final, to the last four. That'll be an amazing result. But I just want to go and enjoy myself, and even if I come fifth, sixth, like that, that's still a good result. Cause there's obviously all the best riders in the world there, like Tony and Adam and Marcelli, and everyone there's a brilliant rider. So I'd love to get in the final. That would be amazing. But we'll see how it goes on the night.
Yeah, we'd like to see you there as well.
Yeah.
Are you both going to watch?
Actually, we're not. We were just talking about that. We probably should have
Yeah.
been there. But no, I'm not going to be there, unfortunately, and neither's Hugo. So, but I don't know. I don't know if it's being streamed live anywhere, or I haven't heard anything. Or
Jitsi are streaming the warm up and practice and that, but not the actual event.
right,
Right.
I don't know if it's available anywhere. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't
No, I'm
think
not sure.
might be able to catch up on bits. I'm sure it'd be
Yeah,
people up bits, won't there?
that's it. Yeah, just go on Facebook. Everybody will be live streaming. So I think Hugo, you were going to ask him a question there about what it's like.
Yeah, I know we've spoke before about it, Russ, but the thing that strikes me particularly about Sheffield is when you get that intro music or your ring walk music comes on, blaring out the speakers, and it all goes, the lights go down, and you just get that spotlight come on you, and then you're expected to sort of wheelie around that stadium and show off a bit. That's, for me, that's when like the nerves would kick in. I'd start shaking then. So yeah, just wanted to know what's it like in that moment and riding in front of so many people in that stadium, really.
It seems to go quite fast, I think, in the moment. You're sort of so busy thinking about what you're doing, it seems to go quite fast, but it's so an experience, like riding in front of that many people. It's definitely something quite special compared to like other events where it's more spread out and that not everyone's just sort of all around watching. It's a good feeling, but it seems to go fast whilst it's on.
Yeah, that's funny. I suppose, everyone's you're being watched the whole time. It's not like a British Championship. You go to a few sections, there's no people around and stuff, don't you? But
well, spread out. Yeah, it's everyone's sort of just around out there watching one bit.
There's nowhere to hide.
That's.
So do you get to choose? Do you get to choose your intro music, or are you told what that's going to be?
I haven't done in previous years. Yeah, they're just I think I don't know who's doing it this year, but I think in other years it's been Joe Jennings. I think's done it, the music.
Oh, is he?
He's just he's good at picking a track. So he's.
Just don't do a Naomi Monye. She did in Barcelona a couple of years ago. Don't do that. That's not good. Or if you do, make sure you style it out. Don't just lie under the bike helplessly.
Hopefully not.
What's it like on a similar sort of subject? But what's it like when you're on the bike on them sort of high sections? Do you sort of notice the height that you are at, or do you just sort of, is it just blanked out?
I think when you're walking, obviously you realise how high they are then when you're walking them, but when you're actually doing them, you're sort of like focused on what you need to be sort of, getting up a step or where you need to put your tyre in, that you almost sort of just blank out how high like the obstacles are. It's sort of you don't notice quite as much when you're riding them.
Luckily.
Until something goes wrong, and then you know how high it is.
I guess you do definitely get used to like practicing sort of high bit and steeper stuff, where you think maybe that's a bit sketchy, but you sort of get used to practicing that sort of stuff.
And does it? I mean, this is sort of going back to nearly what Hugo asked, but I always think you go to like the Spanish Indoor or something, and Tony or Adam, they're on the top of this section, and the crowd starts chanting their name to try and get them up the next bit or whatever it is. Is that not really distracting? I think that would be. I don't think I could cope with that.
I think it's great to have a good atmosphere in there. It's sort of, it's meant to have a good atmosphere indoor trials, and I think when you're actually in the moment with like the sound of your bike and listening to your minder and that, it's sort of all, it doesn't put you off at all, because you got the noise of your bike and your minder, and obviously the crowd and that. It's not distracting at all.
And to be fair, you wouldn't hear the noise of the crowd over Jamie anyway, would you?
Maybe not.
So we sort of did our predictions for what we think everybody's going to do. So you're reckoning you're in the final. Who are you in the final with?
Well, hopefully, if I'm in the final, that would be mega. But I think for the win, it's got to be, Tony, Adam, Buster, any of them on the day can win it. But yeah, it's open to anyone, like other good riders like Marcelli or Toby's had a podium before in the next trial. So and I think Sondra was maybe fourth in one extra. So
he did have a real good one, didn't he?
He did have a couple of good rides last year.
Yeah,
and he looks very comfortable on that gas as well.
Yeah,
looks really good on it.
Well, if I had to pick a winner, I guess it would be Tony.
Yeah,
but Buster looks amazing on his new bike as well. Some of the videos he puts on.
Yeah.
So it always baffles me with Buster. He seems to do stuff without even moving. His legs don't move, his back doesn't move. Nothing's.
Yeah, his timing's just incredible.
He has a very distinctive riding style. It's like, as you say, Hugo, it's like straight legs. It looks like it shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah. The move, those are just so emphasized because his timing's that good.
Yeah.
So little fast ones are just like work so well because he can time them.
And they're so like aggressive little movements, aren't they, as well? It's just works, then, I suppose.
He posted one earlier, reversing on the back wheel down. He must have gone, I'm guessing, 20 or 30 yards, just reversing.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. Pat Smage is incredible at that as well.
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
If ever you watch some of his videos, it's sort of that freestyle riding, he's really good, Pat Smage.
Mm-hmm.
New clutch plates required after that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you think of the speed that the rear wheel must be turning at, and the clutch turning in the opposite direction, it can't be good for it. Can't be good for it. But
I don't know, really. Maybe.
I try not to think about those things.
It doesn't matter as a factory rider.
Oh, well, that's it. That's it, Jack. You don't need to worry about that. Right. I don't. Have you any other questions for him?
No other questions, really, apart from just good luck, Jack.
Yeah.
Hope you go well.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on as well.
Absolutely. I would like to say a big thank you to coming on. I mean, that was a fairly last minute message I sent you this afternoon, but thank you very much for coming on to the show. Our first guest, hopefully first of many. And I just echo Hugo's all the best for the weekend. Fingers crossed. We see you in the final.
Thanks a lot.
And maybe even on the podium, who knows?
And for the rest of the year as well, mate.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good year.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot.